Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. You are so much welcome. Thank you for tuning back again. My name is Ihwako Kumba Blessing and I'm a medical lab scientist practicing here in Nigeria. On today's episode, A to G test conducted in the laboratory. On my subsequent videos, I'll be completing them to Z, yes, because I want to let you know A to Z tests conducted in the laboratory. But for this video, I'll be showing you A to G tests conducted in the laboratory. So if this is what you love, please and please like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel, comment, give good comments, positive comments, so that it will help me upload new videos. And don't forget to subscribe and punch on that notification bell so as to get notified when I upload a new one. Thank you. So without further ado, let's jump into this video. Number one on my list is ASO titer test. What did I say? ASO titer test. It's actually called anti-strepsol. It's actually called anti-streptolysin O titer test. Yeah, it's a blood test that is used to determine recent infection caused by group A Streptococcus bacteria. And they want to know if it's a recent infection or a past one. So an ASO titer test is used to determine the recent infection of um, Streptococcus bacteria group A. So let's move over to the next one. Um, the next on my list is alpha fetoprotein test. What did I say? Alpha fetoprotein test. Is used as a tumor marker test or treating cancer of the liver, ovaries, or testicles. Okay, it's also used to help confirm cancer diagnosis. It's also used for prenatal abnormalities. Yeah, prenatal abnormalities. So let's move over to B. We've talked on A, I talked on ASO titer test, I talked on alpha fetoprotein test. So B on my list, blood culture test. Blood culture test is used to know if you have an infection in your bloodstream, if you have bacteria in your bloodstream, if you have yeast in your bloodstream, if you have yeast in the bloodstream, we can use blood culture to diagnose that infection. Any blood infection in the bloodstream, blood culture test is your go-to patient. So we move over to blood grouping. That's still on the list of grouping is done to determine your blood group as an individual. Yeah, it's used to determine your blood group as an individual. It's also called abiotyping. Yeah, so whenever a patient doesn't know his blood group, when you go to the doctor and you say, please, I don't know my blood group, the doctor will ask you to run a blood group test. That's to know your abiotyping, to know your own blood group as an individual. And we have different blood groups. Some people are of the group of O, some people are of the group of B positive, B negative, some people are in the group of A positive, A negative, some people are in the group of O positive, O negative. So that is it for blood group. So when next you go to your doctor, you now know why you're doing a blood group test. It's to know your abiotyping as an individual. So the next on my list is letter C. We have Coombs test, we have CRP test, we have calcium test, we have creatinine test. These are tests with the letter C. So I'll be briefly talking about it. Okay. For the Coombs test, Coombs, COOMBS, is an antiglobulin test that is done to detect the presence of antibodies against circulating red blood cells into the body, which then induces hemolysis. Do you get? Yeah, it's done basically for pregnant mothers. It's like this their antenatal, the other C, that C-reactive protein is a test that is done to monitor inflammation in an acute or a chronic condition. Does that make sense? Yes. Whenever someone has inflammation, um, you are being asked to do a CRP test. It's a protein test to know if there is infection, whether from bacteria, from virus, or from any autoimmune disorders such as lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, vasculitis. Yeah, vasculitis. That's when you are asked to do a CRP test. These are autoimmune disorders. So when the doctor a conversation with you and you tell him, oh, maybe I have lupus before, or maybe I had rheumatoid arthritis before, or maybe I have vasculitis, he can just say, okay, let's check for your CRP. It's a protein test that is done to check out for inflammations or infections from bacteria or viruses or these autoimmune disorders that I've mentioned. Yes. So we move over to calcium test. Normally, calcium test is done to measure level of calcium in your blood as a patient, as an individual. So whenever you come to the doctor and he asks you to do a calcium test, he wants to know the level of the calcium in your body. And also, if the calcium is too much or is too little, it buttresses a medical condition. We move over to the last C that I have here. Creatinine test, that's creatinine. Test is done to measure or to know how well your kidney performs as an individual, to know how well your kidney performs. Um, the primary job of the kidney is to filter waste from your blood. So when you do this creatinine test, you're looking out for if it's normal, if it's low. The healthcare professionals, if there's a medical condition, will let you know. So that's why they ask for our patient to do creatinine test, just to check the kidney. Yeah, the kidney. Go over to the next letter, which is D. We have the D dimer test. Mm. D-dimer test. Okay, so the D-dimer test is a protein test. It's also a protein test. Yeah, it's used to find out blood clotting disorder, and these disorders can include DVT, PE. DVT, which means deep vein thrombosis. PE, which means pulmonary embolism. Yeah, is to know if the patient have that kind of disorder. So that's why we do the D-dimer test. So we move over to the letter, the next letter, which is electrolyte. Electrolyte in a nutshell. Electrolyte test is done to measure both the ECF and the ICF. Let me come again. Extracellular fluid and the intracellular fluid is to check the balance of your system. Whenever we ask for electrolyte test to be conducted on you, is to check if there is an electrolyte imbalance in your body. Do you understand? Is to check if there's an electrolyte imbalance in your body. Electrolytes are normally salts and minerals, which includes sodium, chloride, bicarbonate, which are found in the bloodstream. Okay, so whenever we ask you to do this, we just want to know if there's an imbalance or if it's normal, if your electrolytes are actually functioning well. So we move over to the ESR. Yes, we've talked on electrolytes. Now we move over to ESR, which is erythrocyte sediment. ESR test. This test is to measure how far your red blood cells falls to the bottom of the test tube within an hour or in an hour. Let me come again. ESRA test is done to measure how far your red blood cells settles to the bottom of the tube, or to the bottle of your test tube in an hour. So when a patient have an inflammation, or if you have an inflammation, or if you have an infection, and if your RBC, your red blood cells, sinks faster than normal, then you have an inflammation or an infection, meaning the faster your ESR rate, it means the higher the levels of inflammation you get, meaning it's from 0 to that 190. So if it falls, yeah, 0, it falls from 0 to 60, there's an inflammation range for ESR, the normal rate. There's a normal range for ESR, there's normal range for man, there's normal range for woman. We move over to the next letter F. I'll be talking about fasting blood sugar, and I'll be talking about blood count tests. So for my fasting blood sugar, what comes to your mind as a layman? When your doctor writes fasting blood sugar, you should know that as a patient, you would be coming for that test on a fast. Meaning, if today you finish eating, your last meal is around 9 p.m. or 8 p.m., you must stay at least 10 to 12 hours before you come for the test on the next day. And when you come for the test, what is expected of you is just to brush your teeth. You make sure after your last meal, you brush your teeth before bed. When you wake up in the morning, you brush your teeth. That's it. You come for the test. You don't need to eat anything. It simply means it involves a blood test. And this blood test is used to diagnose pre-diabetes, diabetes, or gestational diabetes. Gestational diabetes is diabetes for women who are pregnant. Then diabetes are known diabetic patients. Then pre-diabetes is when the person is developing diabetes. So you are asked to come for the test. And knowing that fasting blood test sugar is also known as fasting blood glucose. Okay? Yeah, and it's done with your blood. So we move over to the other F, which is full blood count test. Full blood count test is done. It gives a wide range of illness and infections and diseases. Yeah, full blood count test is a complete blood count test. Yeah, it looks out for abnormalities in your blood, such as high or usually high or low numbers of blood cells. Yeah, it looks also at different cells in your blood, including the RBC, which is the red blood cells. Yeah, which is also known as erythrocytes. Yeah, it looks at the white blood cells, which are also known as leukocytes or WBC. It also looks at your platelets, which is known as thrombocytes. Okay, so that's for the F. We move over to G, and G is where I'll be stopping for today's video. All right, we talk of genotype test. Genotype test. Genotype test is done to determine the genetic makeup of an individual, reveals the alleles of an individual inherited from their parents. Then we talk of GCSPD, which is the final test I'll be mentioning. Okay, yeah, GCSPD. It's a blood test that is done to check for the levels of glucose 6 phosphate dehydrogenase. GCSPD, it is done to know if the patient have symptoms of hemolytic anemia. Yeah, and there are different manifestations such as fatigue, jaundice, shortness of breath, and it's mostly common in males than in females. So yeah, I've come to the end of this video. I hope you got value for free, and I hope this video has been engaging, it has been informative and relatable to you. So if you love this video, please like, share, subscribe, and give good comments. Make sure you punch on the notification bell so as to get notified when I upload a new video. Yeah, we've come to the end of this video. Thank you and have a blessed week. Bye.